Hey, what's up? It's Symphony here. Subscribe to my brother Mr. Creepy as Hell channel, and when you're watching his videos, make sure you stay in one piece.
As a bartender, I've had my fair share of customers that I've kicked out of the bar for them being too drunk or some of them being inappropriate and making the other customers feel uncomfortable. But there was this one guy that I kicked out, and because of this, my life was in danger. I didn't think that this guy would take it that far. I never would imagine kicking a customer out of a bar would lead to my life being in danger. But that's exactly what happened. This happened on January 1st of 2018. It was New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day, and my boss and the owner of the bar decided to keep the bar open all the way until 5 a.m. in the morning. Around 1 a.m., the bar was still packed. There were people dancing, getting drunk, laughing, and just celebrating their New Year's. But there was one guy in particular that me and my boss had our eyes on. Throughout that night, me and my boss kept on getting complaints from other women about a man that kept on harassing some of the female customers, and they were feeling very uncomfortable by this man. He would make remarks about their body parts or say some inappropriate things about what he wants to do with one of them. The guy was very drunk as well. It got to the point my boss asked me to escort the man off the property, and I did. "Excuse me, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave," I said to the man as I was walking towards his direction. "What the fuck? I'm not going anywhere. I'm just talking to the ladies, man. Come on," the man said to me while he was trying to position himself up straight after having one too many. I can feel the hot alcohol breath on me as he was talking, and he reeked it with booze and alcohol. It was strong. The man was all sweaty. But I didn't take no for an answer. I demanded the man to leave. "Listen, I'm gonna ask you again. You need to leave, or else I'm gonna call the authorities and they're gonna escort you out. So what's it gonna be? You leave on your own, or I'm gonna get the police involved and they're gonna make you leave." "You know what? Fuck you," the man said to me while throwing a beer bottle in my direction, but he missed me and it hit the wall instead. Then the man grabbed his jacket and staggered his way out of the bar while cussing at himself. After a while, everyone was having a good time, and then eventually everyone left, one at a time. And then me and my boss closed the bar down, and we both went our separate ways and went home. When I finally got home, it was around 6 o'clock a.m., and I easily fell off to sleep. But not even 30 minutes later, I want to say maybe about around 6:15 or 6:20, I was sound asleep when I heard a hard knock on my window in my bedroom that was by my bed. I jolted awake and I looked outside. At first, it looked like the back of the head of a human being. I didn't know what I was looking at. It took me a second to realize that it was indeed a human being that was standing by my window with their back turned against me. I knocked on the window, but the head did not turn around. That's when I noticed something. There was a tattoo of a star on the back of the person's neck, and it was familiar to me. And the reason why it was familiar with me, because that's the same exact tattoo my boss had. I opened up the window and I called out to my boss, but then that's when I noticed something. What I noticed made me yell, and it scared me. My boss's head was sitting on top of a bush. The bush that was by my window in my room, just his head. I looked just to make sure I wasn't hallucinating, and indeed it was my boss's severed head. I remember letting out a loud yell. I fumbled for my phone and I called 911. While I was waiting for the officers to get there, I noticed there was a note attached to the back of my boss's severed head that I didn't notice before. There was a small sticky note on the side of my boss's severed head. It was on his side of his neck, and it said just 2 words, "You're next." A few moments later, the cops arrived, and they took down my statement. After a while, they left. They couldn't actually find the guy, the person who done this. They were nowhere to be found. I eventually moved because I didn't want to stay there. But I will say this. Hopefully they find the guy very soon, because I think I have a feeling I know who it was. It was most likely that drunk customer at the bar who may have done this. He may have had a bone to pick with the owner for kicking him out of the establishment. I managed to move into a new area, but from time to time, I do feel kind of scared, wondering if that guy finds me and gives me the same fate as my boss.